My husband always takes expensive trips, but I'm selfish for going to a wedding?
If it's not to me, then it sounds pretty selfish.
My brother's wedding is coming up this fall. He's doing a small ceremony for close family in a neighboring state and a larger reception near our parents' home about 45 minutes away. The two events are about 1 week apart, with the reception preceding the ceremony. My husband, male 29, and I, female 28, have been married for 9 years, have no children, and have several animals. I am officiating the wedding.
All right.
By the way, this comes from user throwawayobv0000, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK storytime subreddit. 2. Brother chose to have the ceremony in a neighboring state. Our options would be a 10-hour drive one way or a cheap flight and a rental car.
Okay.
When I explained this to my husband, he quickly became frustrated and said he didn't want to go because of the expectation to spend so much time and money on my brother for his wedding. I now will elaborate more below. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like a red flag, dude. I understood how he felt, and I told him as much. I also told him that the event was important to me and that I intended to attend it. He told me that I should go, but that I needed to coordinate with my family for carpooling and the Airbnb. He basically said, keep him out of it, and he wanted nothing to do with it. My parents are divorced. My dad's flying in, and my sister's large family is driving but does not have room for me to ride with them. This left carpooling with my mom as the only option. Her vehicle is a tiny car that I don't feel comfortable making the drive in, which leaves my car as the only option. My entire family is sharing an Airbnb and splitting the bill to keep costs down. We'll be making meals rather than eating out. I anticipate the cost of attending the ceremony to be roughly $500 after splitting the cost of gas with my mom. The reception will cost very little to travel to and will be a single evening event. My husband doesn't want to go for many reasons. Number one, in almost 10 years of marriage, we have not gone on a single vacation as a couple. We have been focusing on home renovations and schooling. We have had many discussions about how we are choosing different things, and the time to travel will come later in life for us. Anytime a family vacation comes up, we go if it's less than a 3-hour drive and would not if it was beyond that. My husband does not want to make an expensive and time-consuming trip for my brother's wedding when we have done very little as a couple. Are we going to say that makes any sense whatsoever?
It's like we're working out of the pretext of convenience. Also, I've noticed that people that like to do home renovations also like to stay home. But he's going on trips, though, right?
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
Well, it's like they would never go on trips unless it was like 3 hours away. And whenever
He's
that
no
they would,
trip
he'd
guy?
be like, well, I'm going to do the home renovation in school, or we're focusing on this.
Maybe
I
you
don't
need
know,
to
man.
communicate that you want to go on trips more.
But then
Maybe he just doesn't like going out.
But
I don't
then
know.
this here, the reasoning being like, well, the reason I don't want to go like 10 hours to your brother's wedding is because we haven't done any other trips as a couple. But it's like, my guy, that sounds like your decision.
Yeah, really weird.
When have you ever heard the advice, wait until you're older to travel the world? You're going to love it when your bones and your joints are all creaky and achy. That's when it's going to be the most fun. Number 2, no one in our family is very well off. Many make questionable financial choices. This kind of wedding is very different from what is typically done, and he considers my brother to be selfish, entitled, arrogant, blah, 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 for expecting the family to attend the ceremony in addition to the reception. 3, we do have several animals. We live about 30 minutes from our closest relatives, and it would be unfair to ask them to care for our animals while we were away. We do have great neighbors that could help, but my husband doesn't feel comfortable with it. When my husband again asked about the upcoming trip, he very quickly became frustrated that I would need to drive our vehicle and that the trip was so long, from a Thursday to a Monday. He asked why I wasn't flying, and I explained a rental car would be needed, and with the flight, it seemed like the more expensive route to go. He blew up, saying the trip was absurd, that my brother was arrogant, that I was oblivious, and asked who I thought I was, suggesting the trip would actually cost $1,200 to $5,000 when something happens to our car, and said that I was making it very clear that I didn't care what he thought about the whole thing. Yeah, because at this point, I don't care. My brother. My brother's getting married. And you're going to be like, your brother's arrogant and selfish, and it's like, hi, I'm his sister. Maybe don't slam dunk on my brother because you don't want to go on a road trip?
This is weird. This is really weird. I feel like there's more pent-up things happening here.
This is really strange.
We not have the money, we're just fighting against it? What?
I don't know.
What's going on here?
Maybe it could be a money thing. I don't know. He said that my going goes directly against everything we have talked about, and that I'm being emotional rather than logical, and that it is ridiculous to attend the ceremony at all, and that I will be lucky if he even attends the reception. Throughout our marriage, my husband has taken 3 fishing trips, ranging from $500 to $1,200, that I have not been invited on. We've spent money on expensive programs and donations because they were important to him, and I supported it because that made it important to me. When I pointed this out to him, he said that it was different and that he had worked hard for those trips and that I hadn't been saving for that trip.
Ooh.
All right, if that's the road we're going down, let's separate our finances, huh?
Yeah.
If you're working so hard, how about I won't take any of your money, you don't take any of mine, even though we're married, you know? What are we doing?
This at all.
They've been married for 9 years. I work full time and always have. Although I'm not raking in the money, I currently make more money than I ever have after graduating with my master's degree in May. Oh yeah! I worked an additional 60 hours and had been planning on using that money to pay for the trip. He says because I hadn't specifically discussed using that money for the wedding because he didn't want to hear about it, it didn't count as working hard to go, and that I was being financially irresponsible.
Oh my.
Who is this guy? This guy's crazy. He said that going to my own brother's wedding is selfish and is directly against our best interests, and that I bit off more than I can chew, that I'm in a effing expensive pickle, and that I need to wake up.
I say...
Where does this mindset come from?
Also, in a pretext of a family, if this was my family and this was my wife and someone that I was with, there's no I, there's no my, it's our money. I used our money to go on a fishing trip. I used our money to do this. I used our money to renovate the house. We're going to use our money to get you to go to your brother's wedding. Not my this, my that. Da, 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 da. I worked hard for this. I worked hard for these trips.
Yeah. I feel I have been backed into an unfair situation. This is a big deal for me. It isn't just a family vacation. It's a wedding. It matters to me. It's important. Even if I wasn't officiating, I feel that it was important to go, regardless, and would have huge regrets if I missed it. I accept and understand his reasoning for not wanting to go, although I would prefer to have him come. I also appreciate that he would be taking care of our animals on his own while I'm gone, which, again, he didn't need to do. He could hire the neighbors. I'm trying to keep this trip as cheap as possible and would like to spend time with my family rather than showing up for the ceremony and leaving at the same price point. He was at first supportive of a more local wedding, then of just my attending, and is now hinting at the end of our relationship. He has told me, you do you, that I'm being too emotional about it all for even considering going, and that he refuses to discuss the trip with me again, period.
Oh, he does have...
What did your brother do? Like, why does he hate your brother so much?
Got a point, though. It was opposite day.
I think he just likes having a lot of control.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like he put his heels in the dirt and said, I'm not moving. And you're like, well, okay, I don't care.
I'm a little weird.
My brother's
I'm not
wedding.
leaving.
And now he's like, fine. You know what? If he's hinting at the end, what you should make it very clear that it's over. He has suggested splitting up our finances and said something along the lines of, I see you're going to do whatever you want. I'll do the same. Just don't cry when I say no to imminent financial needs or wants or when it leads to divorce. How do I find the line respecting my husband's opinion, honoring what is important to me personally, and making a reasonable decision altogether? What can I say to my husband to explain I care about him and his opinion without missing such an important event? Got some comments here. Number 1, so he gets fishing trips and you can't attend your brother's wedding. Did I read that right? What the F? Was he your first relationship? Because this doesn't sound like a 50-50. It sounds like he's controlling and you verbally with threats. In 10 years, no vacations together, and yet he goes on fishing trips alone. Go to the wedding, and I would strongly suggest getting an attorney afterwards to file for divorce. Reply, her lack of perspective here is horrifying and astonishing. She has been giving in to this dude's control for so long, she has almost no insight into how dysfunctional and a he actually is. It goes to show how terrible and deep the manipulation runs, and I hope she is able to read these comments here and truly take them in and escape.
After she reads that, she's probably going to be thinking back on all the other times.
It's like you either, your eyes open and you go, oh my God, or you completely shut down and you're like, I'm never opening that again. I'm never thinking about that again. I love my husband. I'm staying with him forever. Like, whatever. You either go full denial or full acceptance. Comment number 2 here. There's a difference between being frugal and being cheap. Your husband is cheap. I mean, you don't have Las Vegas for 2 weeks money, but sometimes you have to do something with your life, and it's your brother, not a second cousin whose wedding you just think is cool. I don't think your marriage is a stable one as you think it is. I mean, nothing against being frugal. I am myself, but he's being ridiculous. It's your brother, and it's hopefully his only wedding. He acts like your brother has a wedding yearly, and you went to all of them. Exactly. And we have update. Thank you all for your insight and advice on my previous post. It was very sobering to see how many people could read between the lines of our relationship with a single example. Although I've never thought we had a fairy tale relationship, I never realized the extent of the I've been enduring until strangers on the internet pointed out that I deserve better. Thank you all for your kindness. Many of you suggested that this wasn't the whole story, and that's true.
Oh.
Okay, I feel like we're about to get into why he despises the brother so much. Early in our marriage, my husband was an and he hid it from me for a long time. He also cheated on me within the first year or so of our marriage and didn't tell me about it for 7 years. This cheating did not occur on the fishing trips. I'm certain that those were just fishing trips. He has since gone through treatment, but still uses some substances that I consider to be less worrisome. There was an early instance of animal that has haunted me.
Okay.
This guy is a massive walking red flag.
Yeah, I'm done. We got to get out of here. Not
He
animals.
cheated on you. He's animals. Leave this man.
This is.
You were 19 when you got together. You have to have the whole rest of your life. Yikes. Okay. Although we have had some good times and have worked together to create our dream life, I feel like the 9 years that we have been married average out to be some shade of gray, lonely and anxious and my husband has frequently said our relationship looks beautiful from the outside, but is broken and toxic on the inside, and that we continue to draw circles with promises to improve and nothing ever changes. He said that he never changed because I just, quote, took it and loved him and stayed. This guy's serving up a divorce on a silver platter here.
Yeah.
He grew up in an household and says that is to blame. And I understand that to an extent, although others have endured similar and have never been. Yes, he has also told me that he has treated me this way because I've never stood up for myself and that sometimes the victim is to blame. I'm not even going to get into that. For years, I've asked him to go to counseling for himself and as a couple, and he's told me that if that is truly where I am, he wants a divorce. Girl, divorce this man and take everything you can from him.
Yeah.
Since the original post, it has become very clear to me I cannot stay in this relationship. I have communicated every facet of my feelings and frustrations to him and have let him know that I'm considering a divorce, but that I need more time to decide. In this time, he has apologized profusely, owned that he has been disrespectful with how he communicates to me and to my family, vowed to change, made amends with his coworkers, signed up for therapy, and asked if we can pursue couples therapy. Definitely don't go to couples therapy with him because he will weaponize that against you.
Yeah.
Leave this man. There are things that once they are said, they don't go back in the bottle. And some of the things that he has said and done don't go back in the bottle. He has apologized for the animal cruelty and told me that it has made him sick and he has beat himself up over it. I've never witnessed a similar event, although I told him I think he is too aggressive with some of our animals. He has started apologizing to my family and sold one of his motorcycles to pay for me to attend the wedding. He has also begged me to allow him to come to the wedding, which I've told him I need time to think about. I'm at a complete loss at what to do. He's love bombing you. Do not fall for this. I feel I'm very clearly seeing what these last 9 years have been. At no point do I think that we had a healthy relationship built on love or respect. There is no baseline to return to. We would be building it. For sure, there were times that we had fun and we have built what truly is my dream life, with the exception of our relationship, which is a pretty big facet of a dream life, I would say. My husband seems to think that this is salvageable. In the last week, I think he has made some meaningful changes, although only when I voiced that it was needed. He says we have a long life ahead of us, and that's lots of time for him to make things right and treat me with the love and respect I deserve. He had 9 years and he didn't care. And now the moment you're like, I guess I will leave, he goes,
Yeah, you know why? Because he has control. He hasn't seen you, put up boundaries and let you be you, and he's controlled you, and he's been getting away with all this stuff until now.
Look, this guy, theoretically, this guy can change and become a better person and make positive changes and be a completely different person. However, I would never condone staying in this relationship with this man while he makes these changes because he's not going to change. If you guys stay together, he's not going to change. He's going to go right back to the way things used to be.
Do we go straight into divorce or do we take a break?
Take a break and then
Divorce.
go into divorce.
Divorce.
I say take a
Straight
break.
divorce.
I just say
Straight divorce.
It's like I know people
For
can
me.
change, and especially this is like the fire under his butt. They're like, oh,
I'm about to lose.
Yeah,
OP.
but he can change and be with someone else and have that positive relationship with them, but it's not gonna be with me anymore. It's not. Not after what he said, not after what he's done.
Yeah, I think OP's getting around to that.
It's just not gonna happen with us, you know? And that's okay. I see that I am still young enough to start over and have a family and rebuild if I do it sooner than later. He's told me that he respects my decision either way, but that he needs me and doesn't think he will ever recover from this, that it will be his biggest regret. Well, we all have regrets in life, buddy, and let that regret inform your behavior moving forward. By the way, I bet you would regret not listening to full episodes with stories like this. And it's so easy. All you gotta do is go to iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, literally wherever you listen to podcasts, search the name of our show, OK Storytime, and that's all it takes to listen to every single story we've ever told. It's a lot. We have a little bit more story left. I think we're all in accord here. Let's go ahead and knock it out. Yep.
Yeah.
Is there anything here worth saving? Is he truly going to change, or would I just be taking it and loving him and staying? Should I be willing to believe his actions through the last week over his actions these last 9 years? No, you shouldn't. Is this just love bombing? Yes, it is. Should I be considering allowing him to attend the wedding if we decide to work on things? No. If he does change, is this someone that should ever be trusted to have children? I don't know. I know that I will be fine if I leave. I just fear I'm throwing the relationship away as it starts to improve. After 9 years, is it worth it to wait a bit longer? Sunk cost fallacy. That's not how that works. I've been too close to this situation for too long and worry that I'm not seeing things clearly. You guys have been really helpful at providing an outside perspective, and I truly appreciate any insight you can give here. We have some comments to finish it off. Let's do it. Comment number 1, let's be real. Your husband has always thought it was salvageable because he has always thought it was your problem and is only now taking any action because you started to grow a backbone and said enough is enough. He was never your person, as evidenced by your statement that there was never love and respect. So all you have to build on is the shiny everything that looks pretty on the outside. No love, no respect. Loneliness, anxiety, cheating, lying. That is your foundation. And yeah, OP even said it. They're like, we wouldn't even be rebuilding. We'd be starting from zero because it was never there. That's not worth salvaging.
It's not. It really isn't. You don't deserve to be around this, OP. You deserve to be around someone that'll let you go to your brother's wedding and not fuss about it. And also won't cheat on you. And also won't go on boys' fishing trips.
He catches fish and then he punches him.
Dude.
He just uppercuts
Dude,
the trout back
I've
into
just
the
like
river.
clocked out of this story. Damn, I'm in the purple trainer. I've clocked out of this story. I'm like, I just can't.
Go to the wedding alone. Find an individual therapist, and I would look to separate, just to give you breathing room and time to reflect and work on yourself. Deep dive into why you married him, why you accepted all of it. Yeah, he's love bombing and freaking out and gaslighting you. You deserve because you never stood up for yourself? What?
Ooh.
Exactly. He was being like, I mean, it's the victim's fault. No, just no. Right now, you are stuck in a sunk cost fallacy loop. And better the devil you know. Neither is a way to live. Comment number 2 says, in all caps, yes, this is just love bombing. For God's sake, save yourself. Get away from this horrible person.
Thanks.
Comment number 3, if he's only changing because you want to leave, then it is not genuine change. It's temporary until he can slowly start to work his behavior backwards. He admitted it. He won't change because you take it. If you stay, he won't change. And he has said it clear as day. You deserve more, and you are owed way better. And that is the end of that story.
Thank goodness, dude. Oh my gosh.
Riley was getting
I
triggered.
was not about that story.
Katie Paladin says, Riley's so dramatic.
I am. I really am. I felt like I was stuck. Okay. I went to the
Well, at least you weren't
severance.
stuck in that story for 9 years like OP. Can you imagine?
Dude, I was stuck in Hollywood on Friday during the severance thing because, like, it took us 45 minutes to find our car. It took us 45 minutes to get out of the car.
You're
I was
not about to do this.
starving.
You're not about to do this.
Well,
You're not about to complain about going to the Severance premiere.
Okay, it was
You're not-
after.
you're not gonna do
It was
that.
after. It was after.
I don't care. That's a part of it.
Oh,
You're
it
not
It was
going to
great.
do that.
It was great. But anyways, I felt stuck because I had that feeling of feeling stuck. Like this will never end. I just that feeling that I felt
What,
during
like
that.
traffic anxiety?
No, just like I'm hungry and nothing's gonna change.
You
that,
were just
and I'm
hangry.
just like,
You were just
I'm
hangry,
just like,
my guy.
that's how I felt during the story.
Yeah,
I got a similar feeling. And I
Riley
just felt
called
really
me too. He's like,
uncomfortable.
I'm in Hollywood and I need food. And I was like,
Yeah.
Joe's Pizza.
I know who to call, and I
Oh.
should have did Joel's Pizza. I've been there before.